Transmitting from deep below a nondescript cornfield in central Indiana, join Billy, Eric, and Joe as they discuss news, rumblings, and rumors from the world of action figure collecting. This is the Off the Card Podcast.
There we go.
Still a work in progress.
That's all right, producer Paul. We appreciate it. Episode 29. Sorry for the delay. We've had life, get a hold of us. Joining me as always, Joe and Eric. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Not much. Pretty good.
Yeah. The adult supervision in the room, as always, is producer Paul.
Only my picture. So
Only your picture. Yeah, there you go. He's the great and powerful Oz.
gives me the godlike feeling of Oz.
I like it. Recap. We're doing this after a little bit after Geek Meet. I think it went really well. It was very, very, very busy and very, very, very well attended. And appreciate everyone that came out. Talked to some people here and there that actually listened to us. So appreciate that. Next year we'll make sure we have a presence on the floor a little bit better. I don't know why we didn't this year. I can't even think why. So anyway, yeah. Oops. So yeah, I think I might have gave our space to like a last minute person or something like that, but who knows? But no, it was good. You guys, all of us, were in attendance. What'd you guys think?
It's awesome. I mean, it indeed, like you said, bigger turnout than last year. Even brought along Eminem, Madison, and Matthew.
Yep.
I think he was a little bit overwhelmed, but in all, Madison always loves it. She's got her couple of people that she seeks out and spends her time chatting with them. Kind of same with me, but yeah, good time.
Yeah, that's the big thing I tell people. I mean, I was there at 6 a.m, so like it was nonstop run. But no, I think it went pretty well. That's one thing I tell people that maybe are not big into large groups of people. That if you want to come to the show, you want to do it, but schedule to come in maybe after lunch or during lunch. That way the bum rush kind of wears off a little bit. The first initial shot to the arm for the first 2 hours, it's run. But like, if you don't really care to get there early to get like maybe find something specific, you just want to come there and like, check it out, walk around, window shop, come around noon, around lunchtime, people kind of disperse a little bit, go grab some food from the food trucks. And that kind of frees the room up a little bit to where you can walk without feeling like you're being trampled upon.
Yep. Rave reviews on the food trucks. I had. I
gotta check those out next time.
Oh man, I was up in Crawfordsville. Our friends up north, Logical Collectibles and Bearded Comics, they put on a little show there in Crawfordsville, and I set up as a vendor yesterday. And I actually had people come up to me and tell me about how much they had fun at Geek Meet. But on top of that, everyone led with the food trucks. Everyone's like, man, the food trucks are really solid. I'm like, well, we're owned by large men, so we kind of know what we want to eat. And it's typically all deep fried and covered in butter and meat and stuff. So
I know they had people saw them from the highway that didn't even know the show was going on and just went to stop for lunch and kind of tripped and fell into a toy show.
That works too. Hey man, hey, I get a hot sandwich and some tea and go buy some toys. That's a good Sunday. I
wonder if we should just do a food truck festival on top of it.
Right. So trends. I seen some things that I didn't know if you guys noticed. I'm seeing Funko Pops drying up a little bit. Not as many walls of them, more sporadic. There is some dealers that still cling to them, but they're really clinging more to like the super exclusives and not to general release stuff. But I seen that that caught me off guard. I'm seeing Marvel Legends for some reason feel like they're kind of scaling back. I don't know if that's because the last few are at Ollie's. Well, not the last few, but you know,
I see all the movie based ones, and which is happening more often than not. I think they learned their lesson with the last two movies. I don't think you're going to see a Madam Web. I think they're going to be like, hey, let's not put the cart before the horse anymore. We've learned our lesson. Let the movie come out. If the movie's successful, we'll put a run out for it, but don't put one out before the movie comes out, and then you're stuck with a mountain of Immortals.
That's what Hot Toys does.
Eternals, yeah,
or Eternals, and you know, and stuff like that. So I think they're being a little bit careful about it, because, like you said, like I was just in Ollie's last week, and it was a floor to ceiling shelf as wide as 6 feet, filled full pegs of Marvel Legends, all movie based.
Yep,
it's just not you know,
we've been seeing that,
not a thing.
Yeah.
Which oddly enough, I had an interesting conversation with a gentleman or a kid Thursday I met him. We went to the movies to go see Ghostbusters, and he worked behind a counter and was talking about, I bought the popcorn trap bucket and I bought the Stay Puft cup, and he said that he's like, oh yeah, I went to a local show here in the area. And I was like, oh yeah, what's that? He said Geek Meet. And I was like, okay, what'd you think of it? And he goes, oh, it was great. He goes, me and my dad, he goes, I collect VHS tapes and Funko Pops. I said, well, I'm one of the people involved in it. His dad is a guy by the name of Troy Brownfield.
I know Troy. Troy's a friend of ours. He's been on the podcast. Troy's a big toy collector. He's used to be a teacher at Martinsville. Troy's a good friend of mine.
It's a good writer.
I didn't know.
Damn good writer.
I can't remember if I had been on the podcast with him for it or not. I was like, well, I'm like, I don't know if he knows about the podcast or he's been on it before. You know, he gave me his personal information, but then I looked him up and it was tied to YouTube, and I was like, okay, never mind. But but yeah, I was like, yeah, he's a writer. He did stuff with Fangoria. He used to do reviews for Marvel Legends. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
And
he was one of the early guys
too, since he collects VHS. And
he was one of the early guys with Newsarama and stuff. Yeah, Troy's really really good dude. We Troy's a friend of the show. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I met his son. He works at the theater in Plainfield.
There we go. Small world, man. Small world.
That's why I was like, all right.
Yeah. Well, it turns out right before we moved out of the neighborhood in Plainfield that he lived in the same subdivision as us, but I never actually ran into him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Small world, man. You never know. Especially this community. It's very small. Someone does something wrong, that shit spreads. And it gets talked about. So yeah, mind your P's and Q's, boys and girls. So Paul, who we starting with? Let's get to some news. We all got to pick a few things we wanted to go over. Go.
So what, the week right after we recorded the last episode was the Mezco Toy Fair, and this here is the Bartholomew Vex Cult of the Crimson Goat edition, I believe was the full title. This was the exclusive for their Toys Fair, and what, sold out in like maybe 5 minutes of going live, I think.
I'll be honest with you, man. I think it went faster than 5 because I'm quicker than that, and I missed it.
I know I didn't check till like 15 minutes later, and it was long gone. But for one of their giveaways during the week, it was just to respond to a tweet or X or post or whatever the hell they call it now on that platform. And I just so happened to be one of the ones chosen to win. So at some point, I should have one of these heading my way. So that's kind of cool. Since I missed out on it, I was torn on whether I wanted it or not. But that cloak is the big the big selling point for me, because the standard version Vex doesn't have the cloak. Otherwise, it's a red goat. All the other accessories are kind of molded in the red
and teal too, right?
Yeah. So that's, they must have gotten some of the leftover supplies that Hasbro had from all their crimson stuff. But
yeah, everyone gets a red action figure.
Yeah. So there's that, and then this is a last minute addition for me. I didn't see this coming. A Big Bad Toy Store exclusive of the classic Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
The old school blue outfit and the classic looking motorcycle, as opposed to the all leather and the more modern looking version that the original release. But yeah, if you missed out on Ghost Rider the first time, you have a chance at this one now. At least last I checked, he was still available.
Nice.
This is one of the reveals during Toys Fair. It's a reissue. I don't know if it's a reissue, because I mean, all we have is this single picture. They've done a Captain America. They've done a classic Captain America. This looks like an updated version, kind of like they've done with the Spider-Man and a couple of the Batman figures. So again, if you missed out on Captain America the first time around, you have a chance at one now.
That face sculpt it does something for me. It's very very like Joe Simon, Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
It sets there with me. I'm like, huh. Yeah, I dig it.
Very much.
Yeah.
And the next reveal is a Miles from Across the Spider-Verse, which, Billy, you and I were talking yesterday. It seems kind of an odd path for Mezco to go as far as the license for the animated movie. I mean, they've got a Ghost Spider-Gwen coming out. That was a pre-order from last year. I don't recall. I don't think there's an unmasked head sculpt with it. I could be wrong. I probably am. But they've done a Miles, pretty more or less this costume.
But he wasn't animated though.
Right, and it wasn't unmasked in that original version. So
he was very like comic book or video game Miles. While this lends itself so much to the animation. We talked yesterday, and it felt very strange to me, because Mezco's always kind of had their head kind of facing toward like, hey, we're going to do our version of Batman with the extra armors, or little things like that. And this feels like it's just like a Mafex type, like I expect that from Mafex and Sentinel and things like that. But for them to do something animated, so animated, it's very strange to me, because typically, Mezco's like every other toy company, they're going to reuse those molds a lot. That's an all new body, because you can't remake that body, So
I'm curious to see what they use this buck on in the future.
Yeah.
Because that's very much a much skinnier,
wide shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's the thing with these reveals too. They give you one picture, and you speculate like hell until they put the pre-order up and show what kind of accessories and whatnot's going to come with it. Personally, again, we talked about this yesterday. The Sentinel Miles might be one of my. It's pretty close to the top all-time favorite figures for me. So it's going to be hard for anything to come close to that.
Agreed.
So, and normally I don't mess around with the 5-point line, but it's Goonies. I'm down for anything Goonies, and this went up for pre-order this past week, and it looks like a pretty sweet set. I'm still probably not going to get into 5 points but this would definitely make me consider it.
What's the price point?
Says
the non-toy collector
real
in the
quick.
group.
Yeah. Eric, are you picking up what I'm picking up on the sloth? The Superman logo?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, do they have a contract with DC, I'm assuming? Then yeah, they can get away with it.
They do, but that's a damaged logo too. I don't know. It's interesting. They do have a deal with DC.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the movie though it was kind of worn out from him. Just wearing it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I seen
if
that.
I recall, I think that's the way it looked in the movie. Like he was. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So the price point on this is $100.
I have to look at a screenshot from the movie, but
looks like they're expecting it to be out towards the end of the year, which they've gotten a little bit better on their estimated release dates. But yeah, I still wouldn't necessarily count on that holding firm.
Nope.
So.
This is Eric's.
Yeah, it's you, Eric.
Oh, yeah, see.
Yeah.
I just have slides.
Sorry.
Yep.
Before we move on.
Yeah, no, they announced these this week. I think the pre-order's up until April 17th. They're doing an ultimate series of Beastie Boys sabotage of each individual character from the music video. And
they did them from the
I think you can get all three for like $160 or something like that.
Yeah, they did reaction version.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see if we're gonna get more Beastie Boys. Yeah, if we're gonna get like a classic look of them in the track suits, and then honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if or intergalactic and the
white.
What
I was thinking. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm having a feeling I may pre-order these. I don't know.
Yeah, those are when those I was looking. I was like,
it's the pretty good set. I'm kind of interested to see what happens with it.
Right on. So what? Aha!
So
boy, be nice.
Yeah,
be
very
nice.
Creepy, very inappropriate. Fathausen.
Yeah. I never thought when we seen this happen.
Yeah, this is a Ringside Collectibles exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's there to say?
Yeah.
But yeah, Sting, they're obviously he did his farewell match 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
That was complete garbage. But Walmart doing a collector con run of it. They're gonna do this version of Sting with multiple heads.
He's wearing the mask.
It's going to go quick.
Yeah.
The Supreme ones, that's the thing. I think they're learning their lesson. AEW is of stop making figures of people nobody gives a shit about. I think they've learned their lesson. Nobody wanted a Supreme Kenny Olivier or wanted a Supreme Britt Baker. The CM Punk went lightning fast. This one will.
Well, now we do the
same.
Skynet is taking over Eric's feed.
Eric, you're breaking up on us, man.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have full bars on my Wi-Fi, and I know what's going on.
This is why hardwired is always the best.
That's all right though, man. That Sting though, it's
delayed.
It's a long time coming though for them to release like an ultimate, like the Supreme. I call them Ultimate Supreme. I mean, this has been on the card for a couple of like years. That there was pictures of that like a long time ago.
Yeah, no, this should have been done. Yeah, and that's what I'm starting to wonder if there's something going on in Jazzwares, because there's stuff that's been announced from over a year ago that still hasn't seen the light of day. And their vault stuff they're supposed to be doing of like the Briscoes and Danhausen and stuff like that. And I don't know what's going on internally, but hopefully they can get it fixed, because there is stuff out there that people want like this, and they need to get on top of it and get it out so they can, keep moving forward. If not, it's gonna have problems. But
I think we're seeing those problems,
especially with WWE's getting stronger and stronger with their Ultimates figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Aha, me. Okay, so Morkborg is a tabletop RPG along the veins of Dungeons and Dragons, only it's a lot more evil and a lot more satanic and bloody and very Norwegian death metal. So the guys at Severed Games, now they have an offshoot called Severed Toys, have decided to make a character or a figure of the character that appears on the front of one of their I think it's the very first manual. Anyway, they're teaming up with the guys at Stockholm Cartel, which are the guys that publish Morkborg. And they're going to do a Kickstarter, and this is the beginning of the Kickstarter. You get a bloody, a standard, a glow in the dark. They come with weapons, and they've got like special things. If you get in early, you'll get like special weapons or special weapon sets and things like that. I think they're going to shoot out at like $50-$55 is what they're saying. So for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, skeleton, check. Goat head, double check. Upside down cross, yep. Weapons, sounds good to me. So I'm probably going to be in for every damn release of these just because they would look so cool with other skeletons like that's been released, like the Foosh Toy skeletons and some of the other ones. So I'm digging these. What else we got, Paul, picture wise? Yep, there's a better version of him. Just looks absolutely just bizarre and creepy, and I mean, we got the glow in the dark version first, Paul. Never mind. All right, go back. Four Horsemen Studios, they did their retailer appreciation wave. We missed talking about this, but what they do every year, and they've done for the last couple of years, is they will do a reissue of a figure of theirs, typically, and they'll do a new colorway of it. And this year, some of the stuff that's coming are basically reissues of, again, figures that have been released. They did it last time. Joe, did you get the
last one? Yeah, I got the Headless Horseman on last year's.
Okay.
And with the green glow and everything.
Yeah.
Was
they did that, and then they did
spectacular.
Like the red version of Krampus versus the original black and gray version, and so on and so forth. So it's really cool that they partner up with their retailer side of things and give them something special that they can only get through the retailers. I think that's they understand the lifeblood of the hobby. So Eric's back. Yay. You there?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
You're back. That's cool. Okay, yep. So Red Death, Mask of the Red Death, they did this one. They did him in red cloak and black, mostly black body. They did a reverse of that, which is pretty cool. And I think they redetailed out the clock. I love this figure. It's a great figure. It's really cool. And it's all wired capes and stuff. Then we got the Monkey King, Mr. I got it written right here.
Bojangles?
Yes, Mr. Bojangles. Bojangles the monkey. They went more with a red sage version, and they gold. They went gold on the color. They improved probably one of the best figures from last year. So, absolutely. Congrats. I don't know how they did it, but they did. Who else? So going back, that's Morkborg. That's the glow in the dark version, glow in the dark. So you see the upside down cross, the teeth, and the eyes all glow. with the skeleton body. Those make me so goddamn happy. Happy Easter to me. Okay, this one's awesome. This one is a recolor. I forget the original one, but this one's named is Fisher Price. Anyone get it?
Yep.
So there was an old figure back in the day. Hell, even Pete did, not Pete, but even Tim did with his Astro Zombies. And this colorway is for an old action figure made by Fisher Price. They colored it with those colors, and there he is. And his name is spelled like PS or PHSHR. Very Four Horsemen. Yeah, you know, and it's got like apostrophes and shit in the last name, but it's Fisher Price, which I thought was very funny. Cosmic Legions, I don't mess with Cosmic Legions because I'm just a poor boy and I can't go with another Legions line. I'm sticking with the other ones, but this one looks really, really awesome as well. So dig that. And this one, we're getting a Jacob Marley without the glow or the see-through parts and stuff, but still a great figure. This one's more of a earthly version and less ghostly. Beautiful paint. Joe, you have the other one too, right?
Yeah, I got their first one that came out.
Yeah. If that right there is one of those figures that we get in your hand and you open it and you're like, holy crap, that makes you a Mythic Legions guy or makes you a Four Horsemen guy.
What do I do with all this stuff?
Right. Yeah. It's like all this is, I mean, all those keys are there, all those locks, all those chains, everything. The chains are metal. I mean, so really cool so far. I like what they're doing. I love this retailer appreciation stuff. It's just so great for the retailers. Who else we got? That one's a little small. That's the Viking Fell guy. So I'm going to bring him up here on my desktop to get a better look. This is the first time I've seen them do this. Okay. Anyway, there he is. So this is an all original. Like this is an original character. This is not something that's been a reissue. This is something that they've kind of cobbled together like they always do from old parts and things. And they've created like this Viking knight, the undead of Viking Fell. So make of it what you will. They've never done this before. I think that one's going to be probably the one that everyone's after because it is actually a true original figure for retailers only. So that one's probably the one that you're going to have the trouble getting a hold of, or that was probably going to be the hottest one of all the releases, I would think. I know that's the one that I've pre-ordered
because I say it's kind of appropriate too, considering the newest line is kind of the Northman Viking theme of characters with that giant ass bear.
Yeah, but also too that giant ass bear and everything won't be here for like another 2 years. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, they've got there's some good stuff coming from them as well. I'm very happy. I've been on a buying binge of late, getting things. I've almost got all my Poxus figures in that have been released, and and now I'm starting to buy 3D printed heads and accessories and painting those. So yeah, I've went down that rabbit hole. Other than that, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff we missed over the last few weeks.
Yeah, there's one thing I think I thought I sent to you, but I may not have, about the NECA, and they're doing their video feed of the Collector Con stuff. And in the foreground, there was a box up on the shelf, and it was a NECA Ultimates Silence of the Lambs box. And NECA collectors jumped when they saw it, because there's been ones before they did during the Cult Classics runs of the 2000s, one on the gurney, and then one he's in the white with the blood-covered mouth with the Billy Club. So people are wondering what that is, if we're going to get an Ultimates version of him, and what depiction of him, if he's going to be in the blue jumpsuit or just the ones they've done in the past. a lot of NECA fans were jumping after it.
I'd say we're probably going to get a few different ones if they paid the money out for the Anthony Hopkins license.
Yeah,
we're probably going to get 2 or 3, maybe 4 versions of him.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested to see, what they're going to do with it. And then like with wrestling stuff here, April 5th or 6th, I think that's WrestleMania weekend. So I imagine Mattel's going to start dropping their announcements for what's coming for the next run of Elites and Ultimates and things like that.
We already
I didn't know the Ultimates Monday Night Wars. Yeah, a few things already are starting to kind of develop, but the Ultimates Monday Night Wars are out now, and I guess I didn't know they were Walmart exclusive.
Yes, we had a shipper
people
of
trying to
them at
resell them
Walmart.
for astronomical. Yeah, if you see that Roddy Piper, let me know. I'd like to get that Piper that from WCW, but I didn't know they came out and they haven't shown up here yet, and I have to get over there before old Scooter from fucking Morgan House gets over there and snaps them all up and tries to sell them online. Yeah, that's really for wrestling and stuff. It's pretty quiet for now because this is about the time when they have their convention that they do for the week called Access, and then that's when all the announcements come and like, oh, we're gonna do. I imagine we're gonna see an announcement for Ultimate CM Punk.
No, we kind of did.
Be a foregone conclusion considering the fact. Did we see that
they
one?
They announced that it's going up here in early April. It's going to run for a couple of weeks, but it's his reappearance figure is going to be up for order. It's him in the white shirt, and he comes with a black shirt, but it's him in like jeans and Adidas. So that's the first one we're going to get.
Yeah. No doubt. But
I see that one going over very well. Very well.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I haven't. Yeah. There's not much really out there that's kind of quiet as we're getting ready to enter into the convention season. I mean, it's time.
Yeah.
This is about when the busy time comes. I mean, as we're recording this, more stuff's getting announced every day of things that's coming. That how McFarlane made their announcement. He's bringing the Music Maniacs back. He's already shown Ozzy, and he showed somebody else. Super
Alice
7
Cooper.
just yesterday announced the Blackout Minotaur, Alice Cooper. Yep. So influx of music stuff from Super 7 and McFarlane.
I did. So yeah, I did see it.
Get to be busy.
I did see an interesting rumor. I don't know how true it is. So take this all with a grain of salt. But the rumor is when John Carpenter and was it New Line or whoever has the Thing license, when that all went down, they had the Kurt Russell likeness. The rumor floating around is by the end of the year, we're going to see Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China.
That's why why wouldn't you? If you have his likeness, you could do Big Trouble in Little China, and you could also do Snake Plissken. Like, why wouldn't you?
And that's 2
more Carpenter films.
Because they signed a deal with Carpenter or whoever has that and stuff. So that's all tied in together. That's what I read. That's what some guy was saying is insider information. The NECA is not letting out, but they're going to do probably a Big Trouble in Little China for sure. We're going to get a Jack Burton.
Because I mean, you saw they just announced. I mean, they just put out the Flash Gordon stuff, and you had Ming the Merciless Flash, and then the Winged Warrior. So it's like, okay, if you do Big Trouble in Little China, you can do Jack Burton. I think when they did it, they did Jack Burton. They on the early ones, which wasn't them, it was somebody else. It was Jack Burton. It was Lopan. It was the 3 villains with the abilities.
Lightning, Thunder, and Rain, or something like that.
Yeah, they did those 3, and then they did his buddy,
the dog. No, they did the dog.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did do the dog. They did that like demon. That's right. They did do that. So yeah, I mean,
I had situation. All those at one time.
Yeah, they were good figures. They were good figures.
They were very static
for their time. They were good figures.
For the time they looked like a McFarlane piece. Basically, they didn't move. They were nerd Hummel. They just sat there, but they did. At the time, you're right. They were probably the best we could have got at that time, for sure. So have you seen the we talking about the
it's really about
movie? Talking about the movie or the Music Maniacs with the McFarlane. Have you seen the packaging on those? Because that's weird to me. They're on a clamshell, not a clamshell. They're on a blister card.
Yeah, that's odd.
And it's a weird.
So they're almost done up like. So they're almost going to be done up to look like they're Toonie Terrors.
In a way, kind of. Yeah, if you go to McFarlane's website and type in like metal or music, whatever it is, Music Masters or whatever it's called, and you can bring them up and you can see them different shots, and you can see that the weird card, and that they're all limited. Like I think Ozzy's like 6,000, and Alice Cooper's like 5,000 or something like that, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. It's strange, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm interested to see, because they only have like 12 points of articulation or 16 points versus his other figures have like 25 or 24 or whatever it is. So they're not dumbed down, I should say. They're a knockdown version of some of those bodies that they've made. I don't know. I don't even know size, like scale. Like what is it? Is it
they're smaller?
Batman. Yeah, are they Batman like 66 scale that McFarlane's doing, or is it DC multiverse scale? Where are we at?
I think they're a little bit bigger than the movie Maniacs that are coming out.
I don't know, and they haven't announced a price point or anything. So I mean, we'll see. I'm sure there will be 100 variants, and there'll probably be some chase versions and things like that. So
that was his first couple big forays into the music stuff. It was Alice and Ozzy, then Rob Zombie, and then after that it was Metallica, Jerry Garcia, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Slash, Elvis. He beat Elvis to death. Motley Crue, Angus Young, and then there was the one that never came out, the Kid Rock.
Yeah, I've still got photos of that one, and I still look back at it, and that was a great figure sculpt. But say what you will about him being a whatever, but the figure itself was like, that would have been a cool figure.
For its time.
Yeah, like he had like the coat, and he had like the cigar, and he was like in a strip club and all that. And I was like, okay, that'd have been a cool piece. It was a diorama, basically.
Yeah. In its time, in a vacuum. The fact that in a vacuum, if he would have done a Kid Rock and it would have been successful, I wouldn't have been surprised. You would have probably seen a Fred Durst, and you probably would have seen a Jonathan Davis.
You definitely would have seen them going toward that. Yeah, for sure.
The new metal stuff. I mean, the fact that nobody has ever McFarlane, NECA, is Super 7. Nobody's talked to Slipknot. To me, is wild. In a vacuum of like, you could go crazy on all the different masks and the sculpts. The fact that Trick or Treat Studios has signed a contract with them going, hey, we want to mass produce your masks to sell, and we want to do some figures. And I was surprised they haven't done that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, with them having the license to do the mask, Trick or Treat's doing figures now. So who says they don't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Trick or Treat couldn't double down on all of it and just and go for it. And Trick or Treat right now, they just released all the pre-orders for Ghostbusters, and son of a bitch. They did some amazing wall stuff. That Slimer glows in the dark is $375, and the light sign, and then the terror dog that's coming out of the wall. And I'm like, man, if I had the money, I'd buy them. But yeah, they're cool. Like I was like, damn it! And I got a feeling Bob's gonna have them in his fucking store. I'm gonna walk in one day and they're all wall mounted like Ted Nugent, and be like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, thanks, Bob.
But no, it's definitely, man. There's,
Do you guys think they're gonna do a new Crow figure?
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have no hatred.
Neither do I.
I have no hatred of it because it is a product of its time, just like the original one was. Yeah. And if you read that comic book, good luck to you, because I'm going to tell you what is the most depressing piece of fucking emo shit I've ever read before in my life.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Me and Don
at a time, it was a really good read.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Me and Don talked about it on the drive up to go see Ghostbusters, which, by the way, was fantastic. I thought it was just as good as Afterlife. I think they didn't beat you over the head with the nostalgia. Nice. They kept a good balance between the two worlds.
Does it feel like an animated?
Yes, it
episode?
Does. It snaps into the movie starts and snaps into it just like you would in a cartoon. The weird thing happened in the beginning and snaps to like instant action like they did in the cartoons. Yeah. It did that bullet pointed. Like it was, everything felt good. I will get in the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, but you'll see if you look at Rotten Tomatoes right now, you can see the wide chasm between fan thoughts and writers. But we talked for an hour, and she goes, "Why so many people attacking this movie?" I said, "Because of Brandon Lee." I said, "Let's look at this in a vacuum." I said, "If Brandon Lee wouldn't have died on set and the movie just would have came out, it would have came and went. It probably did fairly okay in the box office, and it did really well on VHS, and that would have been the end of the conversation. It would have forgotten." I said, "They got free publicity with the death of Brandon Lee. We didn't have internet. It was all over magazines and the news and radio that Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow, and it was tragic. And because of the background of his father and how he died," I said, people clung to that movie as more of a sympathy thing. I said, the movie was good. I said, but I don't think it would have, for the time in 94, I said, but if he wouldn't have died, the movie wouldn't have been as big as what it was, and people wouldn't have as much of an attachment to it. So, and sooner or later, there would have been a remake. Everything's been remade.
There would have been a remake movie for like 15 years.
Yeah, they tried with Jason Momoa. There's screen tests that now have been leaked of Jason Momoa in makeup. But I'm like, the reason why people are getting butthurt about it is more out of Brandon Lee than they were. I'm like, they're not comic book fans. They're friends of Brandon Lee that watched the movie in 94, and because of the events that happened. Yeah. I'm like, if he wouldn't have died, that would have been remade regardless. It would have been what it is. Nobody would have batted an eye to it. And that just would have been the end of it. I like Bill Skarsgård. He looks very close to the comic book version of Eric Draven without the long hair. I'm like, okay, he looks like he would in the books. His facial features, how his face is just shaped, reminds me of the books. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not a bit out of shape about it.
No, neither am I. And I'm at the point with it. I'm like, look, everything's going to be remade. Yeah. Look, if those people that are crying about it so loudly, look, at the end of the day, you'd blow your mind if you find out that there was a female Crow, and there've been other versions of the Crow, and the Crow was an ongoing like character that changes, and
he constantly evolved, and that's that's what they did with City of Angels. It was the Crow taking on another form, and that was the smartest thing they ever could have done. And
that idea lends itself to so many more movies and stuff.
Yeah,
my only problem I have with this new movie is because they are remaking the first one when they could have had all this material to go make a new Crow movie as a continuance.
Yep. They could have went that road, and I think it would have been a little bit safer, but people still are so backwards they wouldn't understand it.
By and large, yeah. But I think look, I'm also the person to say just because 20 people on Twitter want to bitch or complain does not make it a protest. It just means you've found 20 other dickheads to talk to. So I mean, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Look, I've been in this shit way too long. They'll go see the movie. The movie will make pretty good money. Yeah. My question is, and I posted it online and everyone laughed, but that soundtrack better be fucking amazing.
That is a movie that it's again that
both era of the first two, both soundtracks. Good.
That's an era in time where movies had banger soundtracks.
Yeah,
horror movies, action movies, even comedies and dramas. You got to think Singles came out at that same time, and the Singles soundtrack was good. Demon Knight, Spawns, I could keep going. I mean, that's where it was. Judgment Night, Empire Records. I mean, Dazed and Confused. I mean, it's just a stacked deck of good soundtracks that went along with good movies. So
they
yeah,
sold the soundtrack is almost like an extension of the movie back then.
I mean, let's put it this way: the album, the soundtrack has been re-released and remastered. On vinyl because people wanted it that bad.
Well, I mean, you got what? You got a Pantera cover doing No Badge. You've got early Rage Against the Machine. You've
Rollins Band. You got
Nine Inch Nails,
The Cure, Nine Inch Nails.
You've got
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, you've got a lot of shit that's for Big Empty. That was what broke Big. Pilots was the Big Empty on that soundtrack. So that soundtrack better be fucking killer, and because they got a lot to live up to. That right there would be the part I would be worried about. I think the soundtrack to that movie has lived longer than the movie itself.
I agree.
And just like Singles and some of the other ones that you said, I think some of those movies, the soundtracks alone are the reason you remember those movies. And you're right. I mean, you're going to have to kill with that soundtrack. So good luck to them. I don't know what the fuck you're going to put on there. I guess it would be funny if you got a bunch of people to cover everything on the original soundtrack.
Oh,
because if you're going to do a remake the soundtrack too.
Yeah.
If you're not careful though, what you'll get with that is you'll get artists doing covers of the songs from the '94 album.
That's what I'm saying. I think that would be great.
Yeah. It's like, here's Billie Eilish doing the song from The Cure. Like her. Yeah.
I mean, you know, hey, Taylor Swift could do that 9 Inch Nails cover.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to.
But yeah, I mean, my wife watched the trailer. The only thing she says is they showed a lot in the trailer. I hope they kind of showed their hand too much. They should have kind of shortened the trailer up quite a bit.
Hey, spoiler, folks. From me to you, the main character dies.
Yeah, and he comes back.
He's like Jesus that way.
Yeah, and then Alien Romulus. We're gonna get more.
That's why I have my Crow figure in my Easter display.
Yep. Alien Romulus. Holy crap. Okay,
dude.
That made me like, I just set up. I'm like, oh, what? Okay, so we're going back. I like this.
It takes place 22 years after the first movie.
Okay.
So it falls in between 1 and 2. This is what I always wanted.
Ripley's still in cryo state.
Yes, this is what I always wanted because Alien Isolation did that. It fell between 1 and 2, and it was Amanda Ripley, her daughter, going out looking for her. And then she gets on the space station, and they have one of those eggs on the ship. And then one of the xenomorphs gets loose in the ship, and it's kind of basically you're stuck in the ship with them. A lot of people are seeing a lot of heavy-handedness to Isolation to Romulus. I'm fine with it if that's what they want to do, and they want to include Amanda Ripley as like a search and rescue story. Hell yeah, I'm down. Let's do that. I always thought it was cool to see Mary Beth Winstead play Amanda Ripley.
Yeah,
and go out looking for her because she looks like a young Sigourney Weaver.
She really does.
You know, and it's and what the fresh hell is this? But
I don't know, Paul. What are you doing, man?
Yeah. What am I about to see?
Showing some video of the trailer while you talk about it.
Is it Franco playing the xenomorph?
No, he's just a predator.
Yeah. Hi-oh.
Hey-oh. Med McMahon. So, that looks really good. Something dawned on me. I was sitting there when I watched it, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and I looked at him. I was like, hey, I got to ask you something. He's what? I said, you know what a face hugger is? He goes, from Alien. I'm like, yeah. I said, have you ever really looked at one? And he goes, why? And I'm like, because it's basically a vagina with a dick tail.
And tentacles.
Yeah. I said, think about it. And
if it were to detach from a woman's body and come running at you, this is what it would look like.
Fair. Yeah. It's just, it looks like, look, we're going right back to the Doom thing. Okay. But I'm just saying, it's clearly.
You say that now. Are we going to get a popcorn bucket that looks like a face hugger?
Oh, it's a face hugger bucket.
Yeah. Because it's going to be a slit to put your hand in with the popcorn.
Look, we're making off the card branded fleshlights. They're coming. No pun intended. No, just joking. But
for the people out there, it's always wanting to fuck us over.
Ta-tow, there you go. You gotcha. it seems very when it dawned on me, because I know that Giger, I'm a huge fan of his artwork. I know a lot of it's like mechanical and bondage-esque and things like that. Completely fine with that. It's huge. I get it. But then I seen the face hugger, and I seen it in this clip of that movie.
Yeah, there's
and
like a horde of them come run around the corner.
Yeah, but the tail is being pulled out of someone's mouth.
Yeah, like the thing that comes out of them, it goes in down their throat.
And I'm like,
the implant,
whatever you call it.
I'm like, oh, I've seen that scene before, but it was on a different website. I'm like, interesting. So
Fede Alvarez though is real good about getting those close-up, weird, crazy shots like that. Look at Evil Dead.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I'll tell you what was really cool is he made the social media post the day before, and it just looked like a black shot that said tomorrow. But if you got in there and you started messing with the brightness and the contrast and everything, you could see the shadow of one of the xenomorphs behind it.
That's cool.
It was pretty fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I like Fede Alvarez. I didn't. I know it wasn't his fault for the Bad Texas Chainsaw movie. He kind of picked it up before he had it, and then he had to leave, and somebody else took over on it. So he couldn't really. But Evil Dead was great.
What else has he done?
Don't Breathe.
Oh, I like those movies.
Yeah, Don't Breathe was really good too. That's his big two hitters, Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. But then also talk about toys and collectibles. They announced Beetlejuice and showed the teaser for Beetlejuice.
Okay.
And I'm like,
am I the only one that absolutely freaked out when I seen Keaton?
Oh, I thought it was great. He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Good. The juice is loose.
Yep. Yep.
Which is so much funnier now after O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. Yeah. Dawn watched the trailer and she's like, "So are they killing her dad off?" I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, they had to." She's why? I said, "Because he got caught diddling kids."
Yeah, he's a pedophile.
Yeah. And she goes, "Which guy is that?" And I showed her. She's like, "Oh," I said, "Yeah, he was the principal from Ferris Bueller." And
the guy chased Ferris Bueller, but brings a whole new context to that movie.
Had nothing new about Howard the Duck.
Bad guy in Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Scourge the playgrounds the world over. Guy.
I said they had to pull all of his stuff. I said, so yeah, they had to kill the character off. I said, but Catherine O'Hara's in it, who I love, and everything.
And but
we'll get a toy series for this. I'm hoping NECA gets the contract for this, so we get an amazing Beetlejuice, which they did a Beetlejuice many, many years ago, as part of their Cult Classics run.
I love who they cast as Lydia's daughter.
Oh yeah, that girl's strike zone right now is impeccable.
Oh, I mean, the Wednesday stuff she did was fantastic.
Which NECA's doing Wednesday stuff.
Yeah, they did. They put her.
So they have her likeness contract right now.
Yeah, then
So they just need to button up the others, and NECA will have ourselves some new Beetlejuice stuff.
I want a cartoon style Beetlejuice figures with little gimmicks and stuff. You know, they're doing with. I love the title of this too. It's not Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah,
it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He just looks so good. So good in that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what look forward to as far as toys and collectibles for movies that are coming.
Sure.
You're definitely going to see those without a doubt.
And the new Star Wars Acolyte.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
they showed
the Kong Godzilla stuff's out now.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Kong's got a power glove.
Yep.
Yeah. He's got a Robbie the Robot waiting in the corner.
He went from an axe to a mitt.
Gyroid.
I remember when that trailer for the other one came out. I said, "Holy shit, that monkey's got an axe."
Yeah, it is. It is a power glove and Donkey Kong Jr. So
yes, I love it. Yep. I love it. He's going to power fist some kaiju.
Yep.
Paul's on silent right now because I can hear him. I know he's chuckling. Yeah.
Gorilla with brass knuckles.
You don't want to know what I'm searching up to show on the video now.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh God. Oh yeah. So my login is Big Daddy Stuffed Crust if you want to go to that website.
Power fisting.
Power fist. Yeah.
Is that like the new slap fighting?
Yes. It's like punch in a jar of mayonnaise. Yeah.
Oh God.
But
talking
about
I know
we talk
line.
a lot of movie
I
stuff.
watched
And,
Ricky
we don't cover that. We
Mickey.
cover toys, but I look at it as the stuff that's going to bleed into
Two toys. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Sure. And true, we also have this year we have Deadpool Wolverine. I'm sure look, the first time they put out a Hugh Jackman head Wolverine Marvel Legend. Oh yeah, the power fist in the watermelon. Kapow. Look at that. Look at that. That's fun.
Somewhere Gallagher is sweating.
Yeah. Well, he's
dead.
Actually.
Yeah.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Damn. Sorry, that got dark real quick. I apologize. But no. With the Deadpool Wolverine. I mean that.
Who do you think will do that? Do you think it'll be Hasbro and they're going to do it as Marvel Legends?
I have to.
That is one of those things you can make the figures and release it, and it will go. I don't think they'll do it until after the movie comes out because there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs to it. Just like they announced sometime, I think in April 15th, maybe Ghostbusters is going to have more toy announcements.
Yeah.
I think reason being is that we are going to get a Hasbro Pulse series. I think they wanted to wait till the movie came out. They did that kind of with Afterlife releasing Phoebe with Harold. They didn't want to let it out. You will see a Hasbro Pulse because I think you're going to get Janine in a jumpsuit. Because Janine's in it, suited up. So you're going to get them all suited up. You're going to get different iterations of them. I think you're going to get a figure of Kraken. I think you're going to get all that.
I know this one's going to be very interesting because we know we're going to get. They've never done any of the Fox verse as true Marvel Legends. They've done some kind of adjacent to them on the other company or whatever. So to see this is going to be really interesting to see like Deadpool and the build a figure be like Colossus or like movie Colossus. But the idea that they're actually going to make I'm willing to bet they're going to make a Hugh Jackman Wolverine in the blue and yellow, and that bad boy is going to have his
hard
head.
To find.
It's going to be hot because there's going to be a lot of fanboys that's going to want that bad, and I don't blame them.
Watching that trailer again,
I wouldn't be surprised.
You see, looks like the back of Patch.
Yeah,
and that's kind of funny because right after we started recording, my Patch and Fix It just arrived.
Nice. They're gonna milk the shit out of that. I've never quite understood why they haven't leaned into the Deadpool toys as far as like the movie version toys harder.
I think they will. I think this is
the only movie they have on deck this year, right?
Yeah, and here's the thing: if this movie fails, this could break them.
It's done. Yeah,
because it has to succeed because so many have failed before it.
The thing is, I don't even necessarily say failed. I'd say
didn't do what they wanted to do. Madam Web and what was the one with?
I can't even put Madam Web in that. That's more like with Venom. Like that's
that Marvels.
Yeah, Marvels. Yeah, which I freaking loved. By the way,
but it just didn't do what they needed it or wanted it to do.
Right.
So in the eyes of a production company, if they don't clear double what they made, it's a commercial failure.
Well, then it's even more than that. They want to do triple because they doubled that just on advertising, right? So,
exactly. That's what like Ghostbusters Frozen Empire right now, I think sitting at $40 or $50 million opening weekend. They're saying the budget's around $100 million. They've probably spent $50 million in probably advertising because we're seeing like the team or Doug and the Emu Ghostbusters commercials and stuff like that. And so they probably they're needing to clear $150 million or somewhere in that neighborhood.
They will.
Yeah. And they will. I mean, we're at 40 million in 3 days. Hopefully by next week, it'll be over 100 million and we can keep chugging along with that. And I mean, they already have a new movie in the pipeline that they want to do to continue Phoebe's story. So
cool.
I'd have a hard time as much as everybody has been wanting Deadpool Wolverine. I have a hard time seeing it failing, but anything's possible.
We want to see Deadpool Wolverine. Does the general public, which is 80% of the clientele that will go see that movie, want that? Yeah.
The casual viewer are they going to understand what they're watching, or are they just going to be like, why is he here now? Why is he involved with, like, that's the thing of splitting hairs. Going back to the Crow stuff, is you're splitting hairs between people that are casual viewers and people that are familiar and like, oh no, this is what I wanted. But then it just doesn't make money. Scott Pilgrim.
So before we hop
first Kick-Ass, I mean,
yeah, the two of the better comic book movies, honestly, those two. But before we hop off here, collectibles, it still fits under the collectible side of things, because we went toward the movies. Best Buy, with their elimination of all their physical media, I know where all that physical media went now.
Where's that?
Walmart. So Walmart and
all the steelbooks.
All those steelbooks are in the $5 bins.
That makes sense.
And that's where I found them this morning. And then I looked them up, and there was a guy talking about it on YouTube, and I'm like, holy shit, that's where it all went. I didn't know at the time this morning that it was their stock, but then there was versions of movies that they had. Anyway, I found like John Wick 1 and 2, Spiral, Saw, a bunch of those in steelbook for $5 a piece at Walmart.
Really?
So, yeah. So
I'll check that out. Yeah, I know Walmart had a big glut of steelbooks on end caps, but yeah, no, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start showing up at Ollie's and buyers markets and stuff like that. That's where a lot of that stuff gets dumped. Sure. Target's supposed to be dumping their movies here this year as well, so it sucks.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah, it does suck.
Somebody collects movies, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it makes them harder to get for sure. But no, as a collectible thing, just put that out there for people. Yes, look at your local Walmarts; they are getting a shit ton of.
You want a badass steelbook? One I've seen that Walmart did was American Psycho.
I've seen that one. I almost bought the Creepshow one.
You should have. They're gone. They just got put out the week before on Scream Factory.
Yeah, and then I seen another one that I almost bought. They have an Army of Darkness one. That's got like this amazing painted cover.
Yeah, Scream Factory also. I got the poster for that when they did the 4K release. I got the 4K release of it.
So what are they doing at Walmart?
They're just Scream Factory's put stuff in Walmart before.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's nothing uncommon. Actually the coolest one, I haven't seen the movie, but Sonic 2. They recreated the original video game cover with Jim Carrey and did it in the box. Looks like a Sega game. And I saw it at Walmart.
Nice.
That one, when I caught my eyes, I was like, ooh, that's kind of cool. Like, I haven't seen it, but it's like just that they recreated the original Sega box.
No, I like it. No, that's cool.
I haven't seen the second one. The first one was fun.
It wasn't horrible. It took me a while. It took me a while to get through, but I liked it at the end. So yeah, rundown steelbooks and physical media, so they're starting to pop up. But other than that, we're done. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, guys. We'll try to make a more timely venue or venture and everything. And yeah, we appreciate you guys watching or listening, whatever you do. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm gonna do the likes, subscribe, whatever, or don't. I don't.
Liking and commenting helps the algorithm and gets us search for. I will tell you, with only 2 episodes out, when I search for us, it doesn't come up. I have to specifically put in off the card right now. So the more episodes I put out, the better that'll help.
I have to put out. I have to type in ITC Productions for it to pull up.
Yep. So
all right. So
that's a YouTube thing, but now this is the 3rd episode. That'll help. Might and the more interaction there is with the video itself, the more you share it, the more you like it, the more you comment, the more that YouTube will say, hey, people kind of like this, and so they'll recommend it to others.
Yes, give me your hate. Yeah. Let it flow. Flow to me. Give me your hate.
Here, we love Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, we love Disney. Look, they ain't nothing better than the Skywalker later trilogy.
You sound sarcastic when you say that.
I actually really like the middle one there. with the casino planet.
I'm loving everything we're getting, to be honest with you. So
yeah. Well,
after all those years,
how many years?
Anything?
Yeah. Look, it's like this. Even a bad Indiana Jones movie is still better than most of the other movies around it because it's fucking Indiana Jones.
Right.
So deal with it. You know,
I'm gonna mute my mic and propose a side episode sometime where we take 3 hours to talk about this. Anyway,
3 hours of me yelling at people that they're wrong. That Army of Darkness is probably the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah. Well, let's.
Or Evil Dead's up there too. Fine, we're done. I know. I'll take a hint.
Yep.